G'day and welcome to the latest episode of the Gaynor Show. It's happening all over the Western world. Churches are being burned to the ground. In mid-July, the French cathedral at Nantes was hit by an arsonist. Construction on this magnificent Gothic structure commenced before Christopher Columbus even discovered America. But we're lucky it's still with us now, although it has been badly damaged. In the United States, scores of churches and religious statues have been destroyed this year, and especially in the past few weeks. In May, a Pentecostal church in Mississippi was destroyed after it commenced legal action against coronavirus restrictions. Graffiti and a symbol used by atheist groups was found spray painted on the ground outside the church doors by firefighters when they arrived to put it out. Then Black Lives Matter activist Shaun King wrote on Twitter, "All murals and stained glass windows of white Jesus and his European mother and their white friends should also come down," he said. "They are a gross form of white supremacy, created as tools of oppression, racist propaganda. They should all come down," tweeted Shaun King. And that's when the heat really turned up. Statues of the Virgin Mary were set alight, this one in Boston. Over one weekend in mid-July, 4 Catholic churches in America were set on fire or vandalised, including the 249-year-old San Gabriel Mission in California. In Florida, a church was set alight during Mass after a man rammed his vehicle into it and then poured petrol into the fire before lighting it up. And of course, the Black Lives Matter protests kicked off with an arson attack against the historic St. John's Church just over the road from the White House.
Just a moment ago, it does appear that St. John's Church is on fire. The parish office, we went downstairs and it is on fire. I'm going to walk this way, and this is awful.
Lest you think that Australia is immune from this anti-Christian hatred, think again. We have been facing a violent assault on Christianity for some time. In 2015, 3 Catholic churches in Melbourne were burnt down in a single week, including the heritage-listed St. James Church in Brighton, which was gutted. Of course, actress Rachel Griffiths told the ABC radio in Melbourne the day after this fire that she was quite elated, like many of her generation, when she heard the news. Then, during the campaign to revolutionise marriage, Christians were told that they should be crucified and bashed, while violence-loving vandals proudly gate-crashed a Coalition for Marriage event to hold up a banner screaming, "Burn churches, not queers," complete, once again, with the atheist logo. And who can forget that the headquarters of the Australian Christian Lobby was actually bombed during this campaign?
Head of the Australian Christian Lobby says he's frustrated at a hasty police assessment of last week's car bomb explosion. The inferno blew out windows and burnt furnishings at the group's Canberra offices. Lyle Shelton is disappointed after just minutes of speaking to the driver. Police quickly ruled out a targeted attack.
And in February this year, a church in Bundaberg was burnt to the ground by an arsonist. This is just a summary of some of the attacks Christians in the Western world and Australia have faced in recent times. It is by no means exhaustive, and I could provide you with many more examples. If you are Christian, you should be under no illusions. There are increasing numbers of people in our society who want to harm you because of your religious views. And even if you are not Christian, you should still be alarmed. This violence is directed at the very core principles of Western civilization. It is orchestrated, politically motivated violence with one intention. It is a revolution against our way of life. There will be more of this to come. You should expect to see blood on the altars. And there will be blood because these actual hate crimes are largely ignored by the media, the politicians, and most of all, the anti-discrimination industry. When was the last time you heard the Australian Human Rights Commission speak out against anti-Christian violence? That's right, you haven't. Actual anti-Christian violence in Australia is not something that interests this mob. They're more interested in complaining about the date of Australia Day, as if that will solve all our nation's problems. The situation is so bad that in the case of the targeted attack against the Australian Christian Lobby, the Australian Federal Police even went so far as to claim officially that it was not an attack or even targeted, even though the man who confessed to this crime told the police that he specifically targeted the Australian Christian lobby for its views on marriage with a van filled with gas. What we are witnessing is terrorism, except this time it's not being orchestrated by the Islamic State, it's being conducted by homegrown jihadis. And you should expect more of it to come. As the election approaches in the United States, it is clear that atheistic militants feel so emboldened that they are now lighting churches on fire with people still inside. Without a doubt, there will be more violence in America between now and Election Day, and Australian groups of Antifa will do their best to follow suit. If your church does not have security already, now is probably a good time for it to be installed. Otherwise, it might not be standing there next Sunday. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned to The Good Source. Tomorrow it will be featuring its first episode with the wonderful Corinne Barraclough. She will be covering all aspects of family law, and she has a cracker of a story for you tomorrow. Head over to the Good Source website, make sure you subscribe, and anything you can contribute to keep production of the Good Source going will be gratefully accepted. Free speech is not free, and without your help, the Good Source can't keep going.
The Bernard Gaynor Show is a production of The Good Source, hosted by Bernard Gaynor. To watch, listen to, or read more content without the SJW PC fact filter, visit goodsource.news, good SAUCE.news. Become a Good Source supporter for exclusive access to live and unedited interview recordings, including the conversations before and after the show.